She's been called the Philippine sweetheart. She's appeared on magazine covers, starred in blockbuster hits, and now she's sharing a side of her life we've never seen before. From a difficult childhood to a career under constant scrutiny, this is the untold journey of Liza Soberano, and it's not what you think. Before the fame, before the camera, Liza was a little girl navigating a world that seemed set to test her.
My origin story. Um, so I was born in Santa Clara, California, January 4th, 1998. My mom sadly had like a really bad addiction to crystal meth. And my dad, he was a chemist, among many other things. And so they were kind of like this Bonnie and Clyde duo. Different cases filed against him. One was for making drugs. Two was for carrying illegal firearms. And three was trespassing and not following the restraining order. My dad eventually got deported. And so my mom was left with just me and my brother, not really knowing what to do, not really having a plan.
At just 12 years old, she left the US for the Philippines, a move that would change her life forever.
Send me and my brother to the Philippines to meet our dad for the first time. And I strongly opposed to this. I didn't like my dad at all. I didn't grow up with him. I knew of him. I would talk to him on the phone from time to time, but I couldn't never imagine myself going to the Philippines and living with him full time, but that's what needed to happen. It was so uncomfortable because he demanded so much from me as a daughter that I feel was like unmerited because he wasn't around. I remember the first meeting we had, it was at the airport in the Philippines. And, you know, I'm in culture shock. Like, it's my first time out of America, like flying ever. And I'm in the Philippines. And at the time, Manila wasn't what it is now. It was not as developed. And so a lot was going on, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. And then out of nowhere, this guy comes up to me and kisses me on the cheek. And it's my father. And I pushed him off of me and I'm disgusted. And he was like, "Hi, Hopi," because my real name is Hope. And I'm like, "Who are you?" He's like, it's Daddy. And I was like, "John, nice to meet you." Because it's like he expected that we would act like we knew each other all this time when we've only had like conversations on the phone that would last like 3 minutes. And so I tolerated and accepted a lot of disrespect and abuse out of fear of losing people that weren't afraid of losing me.
In a world obsessed with love teams, attention focused on her relationship status, but that was never the real story. Some called her brave, others said she knew what she's going into. The truth is complicated.
What a love team is, and this is based on how I feel like other people interpret it, is it's kind of like this fairy tale romance that the whole country is in on. It's when they put two actors or ship two actors together and we end up basically becoming career partners in the sense that we do every single TV show, film, commercial, you name it, together. And for some people, the romance is real. For others, it's manufactured. And we are told by the people that create these love teams, which is usually like the studios, the networks, management, that we're not allowed to have a publicized romance outside of the love team because it's damaging for the growth of the love team. So if you're lucky enough to actually be in love with your love team partner, it's great. But for other people that aren't actually in a relationship, it's restricting, and it's basically living a life in a lie. For me, what Love Teams was really like, it was a bit of a fantasy to me, but it was also I treated it more like a safety net. When I started working with my love team, it was the first time that I truly felt like I wasn't alone. Through my love team, I gained a lifelong best friend, my first love, but also it's when all the violence and abuse stopped, because I started also earning more and being able to pay for things by myself. I was able to take myself out of poverty because of the love team, and I was able to do all the things that I couldn't before without people bringing me down. So yeah, the love team was a safety net, but also like an arm. I realized I was in love with him. So our love story kind of happened actually very organically. It didn't really start as a manufactured love team first. Like, there were feelings before we even were a love team. He had the same manager as me, and so it was inevitable for us to meet. We met in a dressing room at the studio, and he had said hi to me. And I thought immediately I thought he was really cute, but I didn't think anything of it because I was meeting all these celebrities, and I was really young at the time, and I wasn't in the headspace for looking for a boyfriend or anything. And then I heard from a lot of people that were working at the studio that he was requesting to work with me specifically. And so we eventually ended up doing a movie together where we weren't the lead roles, but we were like the second lead. And I played his best friend, and there was like a budding romance between the two of us. And I think that's when, in hindsight, that's when I fell in love with him. But I think I was suppressing it the whole time because he was already an established actor, and he had already done so many TV shows and movies with other actresses who were very successful, and I was just up and coming at the time. So I didn't think that there was ever a possibility, really. This was like my real first boyfriend, and it was happening in such a public manner and also during a time when social media was becoming so big in the Philippines that I didn't know how to properly set up boundaries between what I was okay sharing with the world and the public and what I wanted to keep for ourselves. So I was very candid and unfiltered about it. I just always obeyed the cardinal rule of not admitting that we were actually in a relationship, but we would constantly tease the fans and kind of lead them on. I mean, we were actually together, so we're not leading them on, but we wouldn't give them that final yes until we felt like it was the right time, which happened 5 years later, I believe.
So what did it feel like to not have to keep it a secret anymore?
It was very freeing because it came to a point where it kind of felt stupid to not admit it anymore because it was so obvious. Like, we were hanging out literally all the time. Like, vacations were spent together with our families. So it was very funny to me that we weren't admitting it. Yeah, I've been honestly itching to tell people this because I haven't been very truthful. Ken hasn't been very truthful. Ken and I broke up. But yeah, we've been broken up for almost 3 years now. And originally the reason why we haven't said anything about it is because Enrique or Ken asked me not to say anything about it first. And I don't want to speak for him, but I think it was coming from a place of not wanting it to be real. And at the same time, I agreed to that because I also didn't want it to be real. And this is coming from the people pleaser side of me because I was so afraid that if people found out that we weren't together anymore, my career would go bad, or, people just wouldn't love me anymore. But yeah, me and Ken broke up almost 3 years ago. I remember I did like a mental check with myself, and I accepted that there were certain things about him that I wasn't okay with, and that it's just always going to be like that. And that's just life. Like you win some, you lose some, you have to deal with the good and the bad. So I was like mentally telling myself these things because we were already at that point almost 8 years together, and I was genuinely expecting us to get married like soon, but then that didn't happen. And so when I broke up with him, I would say it was such a beautiful breakup because it was still so full of love. That's why I say yes and no, because it was so hard for me to actually break up with him because I love him. I still love him as a person. When I look back at like our time together, I just see good moments all the time. Guilt for not being the one that held on, because that's what my fans wanted to do. But also like I needed to find myself and grow too. I wish you would love yourself a little more.
And to the public who are nosy and shaming you and slut shaming you, do you remember the line you gave me that you want to say to them?
Mind your fucking business.
Louder.
Mind your fucking business!
As loud as you can.
Mind your fucking business!
Her story reminds us that what we see on screen is the only partial part of the truth. Liza Soberano has lived some painful life and some magical, and she's still standing. What will you remember her for? Comment down below.
This is for Liza. Liza, you were so hard on Hope. You didn't love her properly. You allowed her to suffer in silence. So this is saying goodbye to old habits, toxic habits, and I hope that we grow and heal.
What do you want to do to those slices?
Honestly, I just want to smash them. I just want to smash them all. It feels so good.
Any final words before we wrap?
I just want to say thank you, Sarah, for giving me the space to feel safe to release. I'm crying again, but I never feel like anybody actually listens to me, even when I'm crying for help. So it's nice. So thank you. And I just hope that everyone will be a little kinder to themselves and not tolerate bullshit. Don't let people hurt you. Don't stay because you're afraid of rocking the boat. Love yourself first, and life will get so much better.